Okay, we're live. Hey, Mr. Baum,
Are you, Brian?
what's shaking in this COVID world? How's the family? How's everything? Are you on lockdown right now?
I am on lockdown. You'll notice from behind me is my wife's teaching material. She's a teacher and she's teaching from home. So I'm not going to try to teach you the days of the week or anything. I will apologize to you and your viewers. My preteen and teen daughters are downstairs. At any minute, they could break into a fight for no reason. So I'll apologize in advance if you hear yelling. But
Yeah.
might make for some good
S-
TV.
So, you're working from home. Your wife's a teacher, and she's actually teaching lessons via Zoom and Google right now to her students. Is that
That's right.
correct?
That's
And
right.
she teaches at a private school. And how many students does she have again?
She has about 10 students in her class.
So, how are you managing doing that, selling real estate, and having two kids that are also doing all of this stuff?
Well, I work from home no matter what regularly. So for me, it's not too much of a departure, but having my family here, it's making for some interesting moments. You know, living with a preteen girl, a teen girl, and a wife of almost 18 years, it makes for, impromptu performance evaluations as a husband and father at any given time. So, there are times they'll walk by me and listen to my conversations and yeah, they'll let me know what they think of me. But it's all right. I mean, it's nice to be home with them
Yeah,
sometimes. But I
yeah.
mean, this is a weird it's a weird time. And my daughter, I took my youngest out, and she said something that was super innocent but super profound to me. She said, we were just driving around downtown last night, and she's like, you know what? We don't get to do anything. We don't get to go anywhere. And we're a family about working hard and playing hard. And we set goals, and whether it's going out for dinner, going to a Raptors game, or going, I do daddy daughter trips with my kids. But right now, we're living in this suspended state. And she was like, I have nothing to look forward to. And it's sort of a like, what do you say to your child when she says that, right? That's
Yeah.
working in that kind of environment where you don't have answers for your children, that's the hardest part.
Yeah, I guess when you're a kid, an hour, 2 hours, or a day or a week seems like a long time, and
Yeah.
it's hard to get a perspective on it. It is a crazy time right now, and you're actually still selling houses right now. You're doing the virtual stuff. You actually did a virtual showing sale. How did that come about?
Early on, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be going into houses and bringing whatever that is back into my own home. So early on, I just said to my clients, look, I'm not prepared to step in a home with you. And I started reaching out to agents and started to say, look, is it okay if I unlock the door, let my clients in, and then I'm going to sit in my car? I'm not going to do anything face to face. And then all the listing agents were really cool about it. So I wanted to get it in
Yeah.
writing, and then I was going to proceed. So that's how I've been doing it. But I mean, as you asked me this question, I'm seeing advertisements from realtors that are like, hey, your agent's really lazy right now. If they're not doing showings, I'm happy to. So you hear stuff like that and you think, how responsible are you? So yeah, but I mean, I'm
Yes.
still doing offers and it's still happening.
As we're doing this right now, I'm getting an agent texting me saying, "Hey, we got to talk about one of your listings." I'm gonna go, wow. I'm amazed at how things are so active right now. It's obviously dropped down. I don't know if you know that guy, area code 416, that real estate agent. I'm gonna do a screen share of his stats, and we have dropped. Let me pull this up, and where is it? Okay, here it is. There we go. So we have this website up here. We have sales have dropped 56% as of April 5th. And it's no surprise we can't do showings. How are you seeing prices and negotiation right now because of this?
You know what? I think, I respect looking back month on month, but I don't, in the last 20 years, have we seen anything like this? I don't know if it's relevant to be looking at last month or even 2 weeks ago. I think it's day to day getting out there and having conversations with the agents and, what we're doing now to figure out what prices are doing. I think right now prices are going to be stable day to day. But I think, and correct me if you have a different opinion, I think it's those people that have sold their properties, they need to buy, or there's another reason why they need to buy right away. Once that inventory is absorbed, and we're still in that, the people are competing in some of the key areas in Toronto. Once those people have absorbed that inventory and the other people that are hanging back remove their properties from inventory, I mean, that's going to be a different state than what we're looking at right now. So,
Yeah,
right now
I
I'm seeing a little dip in prices.
I am too. I'm starting to see it right now. Here, I mean, here's a good example here. A real estate agent that we know listed this property, and I'm sure you know this building, 90 Broadview.
Yep. Oh, well.
Here's a comparable sale that sold in November 30th, 2019, sold for $699, 11 days on market, sold really quick. They
How much square
listed
feet
it
was
at
that?
570, almost the exact same layout, just a different position, different floor. And they had it for 570, accepted an offer right away. First call, essentially, that took it. So it looks like the buyer did a low ball. It was another real estate agent, and they got it. So it seems like some people, for whatever reason, are selling at that price. But most importantly, which is really interesting, buyers are starting to take advantage
Yeah.
and starting to see what they could do. Like your situation, this property was not shown at all, just on the phone. It's really easy to do that with a condo, I guess. But
Yeah.
yeah,
It's surprising because, a week ago, when people were asking me, those people that were coming out of the woodwork, and I think you've seen them too, where they're like, hey, Brian, is there opportunity? Can I buy at 50 cents on the dollar? And a week ago, I was saying to those people, to my knowledge, sellers are not taking a haircut currently.
yes,
But to your, that's $120,000 drop on a 600 square foot condo in South
yeah,
Riverdale. Yeah, I don't know, but could it just be, every individual seller is experiencing different financial situations. The economy's changing.
exactly.
People are losing their jobs left, right, and center. We have, what, 11% employment rate right now. Who's to say, that behavior is not going to continue?
Okay, so here's like my thinking. I'm seeing right now people, especially in jobs that have to deal with people face to face, they're either unemployed, they're dipping into savings, companies, retailers, everyone, they're going into savings. This is stuff they might be putting into real estate, down payments that they're saving that should be going to real estate, or they might be losing their job or their business altogether, especially if this thing lasts long. I am talking to my family. A lot of them are in the medical field, doctors, nurses from all across the world. They're not seeing like this huge war zone crush of people in their hospitals, thank goodness. I'd like to think that this whole situation's not going to last going into the summer, knock on wood. I do expect us to rebound. We are in uncharted territory where if it lasts long, there's definitely going to be consequences. But if it's short term, I think the market's going to bounce back. And I think
I don't
that I just
disagree.
have a
Yeah.
feeling that if it's short term, everyone's going to rush in at the same time, and we're going to be almost back to where we were before in February.
I wonder about that. I wonder if people are going to be tentative. Even if, let's say, by June we see the curve flatten a little bit. By June,
Mhm.
hopefully, those of us south of the border have got a grasp on what's going on. I think people are going to be really slow to get back to real life. Like, realistically, how apt are you going to be to take your family to a restaurant, in June, or hop on a plane? And if you don't know how your company is going to respond to the next year,
Yeah.
are you gonna be spending money unless you have to? But then there's other consequences of COVID. Is there gonna be a baby boom in 9 months where people who hadn't necessarily planned to move out of their condo are in a situation where they have another room that they need? I think that's a possibility as well. So
Yeah.
I,
Divorces,
what's that? Divorces?
divorces
Yeah,
as well.
absolutely.
Yeah. And my
Everything
goodness,
okay at
people
home?
might be, I'm sorry, what was that?
My wife is certainly looking at me out of the corner of her eye. Every now and again, I
Yeah,
can
I'm
see her
sure
looking
all
at
of
me
us
like,
are.
Yeah, I
I
could
mean,
have done
I
better.
hope it doesn't last till June. I really do. I'm feeling, man, I really hope that we're sorted out by May. I really do.
I mean, I hope
Ah,
so too, but
yeah.
I think June at the earliest is when we start to see any changes. I'm hoping that our kids can go back to school in September. That's I feel like this is a win if they could go back to school in September. If we can see some stabilization by June and then July and August, things starts to calm down. I think that that would be a great outcome based on what we're
So
seeing right now.
what would you tell buyer clients then? Should they be looking? Should they, if they don't need to sell, or maybe they're a first time home buyer, or they plan on maybe keeping their existing property and then just upsizing, like they lived in a condo, they're going to be renting it out, keep it as an investment property. Are you telling them to, hey, be strategic, start looking? Are you going to be sending them listings and keep an eye on stuff? Or you just can say, hold off until June?
Yeah, it's a great question. No, so I personally, and your other viewers might have a different opinion, which is totally cool. But I'm of the position that people are coming to me. I say, look, I'm not doing showings, and I don't know a lot of realtors that are doing showings, and I'm not going to comment on whether you should be walking through a home or not. But for the homes that you can actually see, there's very few of them. I don't know if prices are going to drop, and I don't know if they're going to go up right now. I think this is super new, and I go through some of the day-to-day data that I'm seeing, but I also tell them my job is not about unlocking a door, letting you walk through, and then writing an offer. So my job is helping to educate you. So I'm setting them not only the values of homes, but I'm also walking them through like a weekly call of what to expect in a home inspection. When we finally get into a house, here's what you're going to expect from a home inspection. And then connecting them with third parties like lawyers and home inspectors when that time is right. So that when the time comes, and hopefully, if your guess is a good one, we're back in May, they'll already be halfway to the mark by then. But I don't think it's responsible to say hold off, because then people will just be like, why do I even have an agent? Like, there's no
Yeah.
value in this guy. Whereas if I'm trying to be, or I endeavor to be an advisor or somebody that they trust, I'm going to be providing them with other elements of a purchase, not just the sales numbers and the negotiation. Because realistically, what are sales numbers right now? Like, I mean, there's not a lot of consistency right now. It's day to day, and then we try to provide some kind of insight into those numbers, but there's not a lot of insight that can be gained in a situation that we've never seen before.
I remember back in 2008, I said I was going to buy a City Place condos. I'm watching to see them go to $300 a square foot. I'm going to jump in. This is 2008 and never hit that low. It is so hard to time the market. I think the best thing to do is like go by opportunity and opportunity, especially when real estate, in my opinion, you have to go the long game if you plan on living in it. Like plan for at least 5, 6 to 10, hopefully 10 years at
Yeah,
least. Um, if you go that, yeah, maybe something would sell for a cheaper price a couple weeks later, but overall, you'll be ahead because you're going on the long game, and if the properties just go up 5% per year, we're still really good. And either way, you're paying down your mortgage as well, so you are making bank by buying right now, or
yeah.
just buying in general.
I absolutely agree. And that's to say nothing of the stability of being in a mortgage versus a rental situation, which,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, sorry, I cut you off there. You're going to say something.
So, like right now, with the preparation of buyers, so you're preparing them right now, and take us back to the deal that you did. So you didn't do the showing, or you were in your car, you opened the door and then you unlocked it, and then they walked in themselves, and you
Yeah,
guys didn't really say hi other than from the car, and you waved from the
yeah, kind
balcony
of a
type of thing.
wave. And I mean, I'm not a turn and burn agent, so I'm pretty close to my client. So there was a
Yeah.
couple of jokes of waving 10 feet away. I looked at this house was Danforth and Coxwell, just off the Danforth, so I kind of knew what I wanted to be looking at. So I walked around the house before they got there,
Yeah.
just like the roof and wires, that sort of jazz. And when they were in there, I just said, "Hey, can you take a couple of pictures for me of the registers? Because the home inspection didn't tell me much, so I want to see if there's asbestos and I kind of walked them downstairs and asked them to take a picture of the ceiling to see if I could see any knob and tube, that sort of stuff. And they
Yeah.
were there for a while, and we were kind of texting, and they were telling me what they were seeing, and I was, asking other questions. And some of those follow-up questions I went to the agent with, and the agent was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then we went into a multiple, and
Well, it actually went in multiple offers.
everything I've been through has been multiple. Like the last 3 weeks, 3 weeks, five
We've
multiple
been
offers.
locked down for 3 weeks. Everything has been That's
Everything multiple.
amazing.
So I'll get back to that in 1 second. But the first
Yeah.
multiple I got into early on in March, and I think you'll dig this one, was a condo in Lombard. We went into a multiple. It's 1:30 in the morning. The agent is stretching to irrevocables like crazy. And at one point, I'm like, dude, why don't you just say, like, my clients are like, Dan, what are we doing? It's 1:30 in the morning. No human, like, we should be at a bank machine or at a bar, or we should not be sitting in our homes trying to get a deal done. And I asked the agent if we could, why don't you set a time for tomorrow morning? We'll all have a cup of coffee in front of us, and we'll get this done. But he pushed on, and my clients just said, I'm done. It was 2:15 in the morning. I got an email when I woke up. They accepted an offer at 3:15. And I'm like, why are you doing this? And when I had a little debrief with the agent, I wasn't too pleased, but he's like, well, my client was terrified of COVID and she wanted to get a deal done. And
Yeah.
these are
So
the
that's
weird deals I'm finding myself in right now. I don't know about your viewers, but I'm sure we're seeing the true nature of or the authenticity of agents right now. I'm seeing.
Was it at Spire, out of curiosity? The
33 Lombard.
building? Yeah, it was
Yeah,
33 of Lombard. Okay,
yeah.
yeah. Actually, it's funny you should mention that. I had people contemplating putting an offer on this one, but they
Go down
when
a bit.
let's see, 3607.
That was them.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So
if that agent is watching this right now, I'm gonna remember this. I'm only half joking about that.
yeah, and take a look at it. Right after, I mean, 3407 came up on the market a little bit more than what they were asking for. So, what were the comps like? Let's take a look here quickly.
Yeah,
I take this.
I think I remember saying to the clients, you want to be somewhere in that 975 to 103 ish.
Yeah,
I think that's where you want to be. What did it list for? It listed for 995, sold 107. Is that?
yeah, 998. So I'm gonna pull it up right here. I got it up. Let's take a look. So we have the MLS going right now. So we have 3607 for 998. They listed it in March 16th. So when this craziness was starting, I mean, look at what it sold for back. A similar unit on the lower floor
Yeah.
sold for. I mean, that's a lower floor. It's not a really good comparison. But
No.
this one just came up right now. It'd be interesting to watch to see if it goes for less. I think obviously this is a high price. It's been on the
Yeah.
market for 21 days.
Same exposure
It
as
should,
well. I mean, the view up there was spectacular.
yeah, it's a really good building because it's overlooking the park, I'm assuming. So you get the
Yeah.
good view. Yeah, the view is going to be not blocked. Yeah, it's a good building, good location. It'll be curious to see what this one sells for that's on the market right now.
Yeah, 21 days. Yeah, I think, yeah, ship has sailed on that one. But my original point was it was interesting to see some agents the way, they're operating from a place of fear. And I shouldn't have said that. I don't know if the agent was, but the client was operating
Yeah,
from a place of fear. And, I would hope that agents would just be that place of calm in these situations because everybody's terrified. We are. But being a little bit more calm and treating negotiations like we were 2 months ago is probably going to give more dignity to the process than pouring yourself a coffee at 3:15 in the morning trying to get a deal done.
yeah, I can't imagine buyers sticking around. What was happening? Was it that the other buyers were just taking long to bid up, to trying to wait everyone out? So they were just taking a long time. Was the seller taking a long time to
Seller,
make a
seller
decision?
was seller was. I mean, the story that I was given was the seller was on the phone with her lawyer to help guide her through. Now show me a lawyer that's consulting with their client on the phone at 3:15 in the morning on a Saturday night. I mean, sign me up, because that's service. But that was the
Yeah.
story I was given.
Okay. Interesting. I mean, we have to watch and see what's happening. I do think that, I mean, sales are still happening. And the really good thing about that right now, what I'm finding is that there's no really like everyone that is serious, everyone who wants to sell seriously wants to sell.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to buy needs to buy. So there's not really that much time wasting. So I almost appreciate this market a little bit more because of that. Yes, it's a more difficult time finding those people, but the people that you do get are very serious and they're very decisive, which makes my job a lot easier.
Yeah.
It sounds like for your clients as well, they're actually moving and deciding on what they're doing.
Yeah. Are you finding the sharks coming out of the woodwork asking if you can buy something for 50 cents on the dollar?
Um, on pre-construction, people are calling me asking for assignments, saying that they want these really good deals, and more every day, every single day. Those type of people are saying, "Hey, if someone's lost their job and they can't close their condo," but a lot of condos that are closing right now, people have a lot of equity and they're finding a way to figure it out. Um, I am finding more in pre-construction people asking to see if they could defer deposits, move them along
Fair. Fair
today,
request.
and we are getting a lot higher rescission rates than normal, people backing out. And I mean, I did a deal today, did two deals last week, and they're both in the rescission period, so we'll see what happens. They both knew what was happening during the time that they bought, so they seem to have done their homework. And the only reason why we were able to get these units is because people changed their mind during the 10-day cooling off period and backed out. So the units became available. What I was finding is that before the beginning of March, every single condo project that launched in the city under 700,000, if it's in the 416, would sell out within 4 days. If it was in 905, and if everything under 500,000, if it was further than that, everything under 400,000 would sell within days. And projects that launched during this time period and a shutdown happened during the 10-day cooling off period, people would drop off. So we did have some people that missed and still insisted on saying, hey, yeah, we see this as more of a long-term position. We're going to be jumping in. And that's who I was looking for, because you always get, when the hype is going, you always get people wanting to buy.
Yeah.
It's when the hype kind of dies down that in pre-construction, people could get some good opportunities. On the
Is that
seller end, I'm telling all sellers to hold off
yeah?
until all of this is
Why?
sorted
Because
out.
of the health side of it, or because the quality of buyers that you're getting in there? You know,
Yeah, because you're not going to get the buyers. You're not going to get the volume of buyers. And
yeah,
additionally, one of the properties is a tenant property, and I just couldn't imagine dealing with tenants if we want vacant possession and all this stuff. I couldn't imagine all those scenarios coming up when all of this stuff is happening. I mean, the landlord tenant board, it was already 5 months backlogged. I can't imagine what's going to happen. On group chats, we're hearing real estate agents say their clients are their own investment properties. Some tenants are totally taking advantage of the situation, knowing that they can't be evicted and not paying rent.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm seeing a lot of, and it's super concerning, that whole movement that was growing about that we're not paying rent on April 1st, and
Yeah.
landlords are all rich anyway, and that's super concerning. I got very lucky with my tenant early on.
Yeah.
I just sent him a message saying, "Look, I don't know what's going on. Obviously you're a father. Be a great father. Don't worry about me kicking you out. That's not what's going to happen here. If you can't make rent, let's figure it out together. We'll work on it." But so he was super cool about April, and let's see where it goes with May. But I'm hearing friends who are like, "Yeah, my tenant won't return my calls," and so that's kind of a drag to hear too.
Yeah. And that's the thing, that being on the other end, being on the landlord end, um, we see how when people do that, they ghost you, or they're being belligerent, or they're being
Yeah,
aggressive. how we would go through whatever lengths to get you out. It doesn't matter how much money we would lose. That's the mindset that we have. But if you say, hey, Dan, man, I don't know what's happening with my job. Let's see if we can work something out. I would do whatever I can to help accommodate you.
Yeah,
It
totally.
just,
Yeah.
people are super short-sighted, especially with this rental market where if they were to get evicted, eventually, if they were to get evicted, they're definitely going to be in an environment where chances are the rents are going to be higher.
Yeah.
Yeah. So commercial tenants are something that I'm seeing some interesting cases with, because I got clients that are business owners
Yeah.
and they're like saying, we have no sales. We're completely shut down. I mean, you're in the restaurant industry right now. What do you think's happening with those folks
You know
with
what?
their leases?
I still have friends in the business, and it is sad what's going on because, on the higher end, the corporate restaurants, they're going to look at their bottom 25% underperforming restaurants. Those restaurants will never open again. So you're losing a bunch there. For the private restaurants, the owners that own one or two or three units, they're not opening. They've laid off all their staff, and even if they can open again when this subsides and when it's an opportunity to open up, how are they going to come up with the 10, 15, $20,000 required to build up their food inventory? And the inventory that's available, because it's not like you're going to be able to call Maple Law chicken farms or whatever to get your chicken in right away, right? So to be able to get their menus running to where they were is going to be very tough, to say nothing
Interesting.
of getting the money required. In the Star, Mike Summerfield was quoted. He's the owner of Prohibition Restaurant. He said he couldn't even make payroll. So the likelihood of him opening up, and he was a great guy and great operator. He's not going to be able to open up his restaurant. I have a restaurant on the bottom of my street called Savignon. It's a French bistro. They're closed. They're a staple in the community, and we're all kind of concerned that they're not going to open up. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's a big concern. And the point I alluded to earlier is when it becomes healthy for us to leave, when they've allowed us to leave our homes again. Are you going to take your family to a restaurant? Like, how long is it going to take for you to feel safe to do that? I mean, these are some of
Yeah.
the market conditions that restaurant owners are currently facing, and it's super sad because some of the godfather of my children is a chef, and to see what they're going through is tough right now.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm chomping at the bit to start getting back to life normal. Something I always took for granted, which I always looked up to you, is that you traveled. I mean, I always say, yeah, yeah, I'll do it next year. Or, oh, this deal is coming up or this project's coming up.
Yeah.
I'll do it later. And I'm chomping at the bit. Man, I so appreciate that ability, that freedom that you have to be able to just travel and see people in real life. I mean, that's the reason why we're doing these Zoom calls, because we're all stuck at
Yeah.
home. And
I
yeah,
think I think I said to you off before you started the broadcast. One of the saddest things my daughter said to me yesterday. I was driving around with her, and she was like, "I have nothing to look forward to." And as I said, like we're a work hard, play hard family. Daddy may go out and do a deal tonight, or you won't see me because I'm out doing work. But I promise you, this is what we're gonna do. And whether it's like go out for dinner at a restaurant they love, or go to a Raptors game, or the daddy-daughter trips, like they love them. And my youngest, the one that said that she and I were supposed to go to the Italian Grand Prix this year, which highly unlikely it's going to go forward. It's in September. But yeah, to your point, like we're in this suspended state of not looking forward to anything. And you and I, we can rationalize it, we can figure it out and justify what we're doing. But to an 11-year-old who just wants to go out and play with her friends, or just wants to go out and go to a Raptors game or something, she can't. It sucks. Yeah, I want to
yeah,
get out there and do something.
yeah. So, I mean, we'll see what's going to happen, Dan. I really
But to
appreciate your
be
time.
fair, the last thing I'm going to say is it was hard
Yes.
enough to get you out for lunch during a normal time. And
Well,
so
I
now
think
you
the
have an
last time we
excuse.
went, it was prohibition, and in fact, I was sick that day,
You
so
were.
I
You
had a
were.
fever. Imagine doing that now. You probably want to stay 20 feet away from me.
You were. The last thing I'll
Yeah.
say, I know you're gonna wrap this up. I thank you for having me on. If you guys haven't gone to my Instagram, something that's super important to me right now is The Daily Bread Food Bank, they have a COVID-19 relief fund going on, and there's people that really, really need the food bank for just to stay alive and feed their kids. If you guys have an extra couple of bucks, please do click on that link and donate what you can. They serve a huge function in the city of Toronto, and I want all of us to get better.
Yeah, I'm gonna
That's
pull
my
it
thought.
up right now. So let's see. Let's pull up your Instagram. Let's see here. So we got your Instagram here, and this is the post that you're referring to, the video that you did.
Yeah, so there's a video there, but if you go up to the link on the profile and just click on that right there.
Oh, nice.
Any donations you can make. I mean, the people that use the Daily Bread Food Bank, they, after paying their rent and utilities, they have $7 a day to feed their families. And everybody knows that that's not enough. And so if you do have an opportunity, I know we're all struggling here, but if you do have the opportunity, please make a donation.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much, Dan.
Thank
Enjoy
you,
your
Ryan.
time, and I look forward to having beer with you at some point, someplace, or having lunch.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to take that for granted. You never know what's gonna happen.
Looking forward to it. Thanks for having me on.
Take care, my man. Have a good one.